How's it, everyone? Welcome to another entry in my Versus series right here on OpenCourt. So today we're taking a look at two rackets, two of the most popular rackets currently on the market. Those are the Yonex Ezone 98 and the Vcore 98. So I've reviewed both of these rackets independently on this channel. Go check out those reviews if you want my full in-depth thoughts of these rackets. But today I'm going to play test both of these and see which ones shine in particular areas, which one is better for certain aspects of the game of tennis. So I hope you guys enjoy today's video. Alright guys, so on this review of the Vcore 98 and Ezone 98, I got a couple of my students to help me out. So this is Matt. He was on my review for the Head Gravity MP. He actually uses the Ezone 98, so I let him test out the Vcore 98 to see his thoughts. But what would you say the difference is between the Ezone and the Vcore?
For sure you need to have more of a vertical swing path with this one, because if you hit it more flat, it won't do so well. It's meant for more spin.
Okay, so what was your favorite shot with the Vcore and what's your favorite shot with the Ezone?
With the Vcore, I guess my overhead, it felt pretty okay in some points, maybe my volleys once in a while, but overall it was maybe net game, I guess. And then with my Ezone, I'd say my forehand is just so much more lethal with it.
Okay, and then what do you say in your opinion, is the biggest difference between these two rackets?
I'd say, I guess, the way you play. This is more for baseliner people. This you can use for any sort of game style.
Okay, so this is for a baseline ground stroke player, and this is a more all-court player, you'd say. Okay, and which one in your opinion is stiffer?
I'd say my Ezone is stiffer.
This one?
For sure.
All right, thank you, Matt. All right, so now I'm here with Kim. She's another one of my students. She plays high school tennis for me, and her main racket is also the Ezone 98, so I let her try the new Vcore 98. So Kim, what did you think about this racket?
Honestly, I don't like it that much. It did help me generate more power, which is something I struggle with my ground strokes, but it was a bit too much for me because I needed more help with control, which is why I have my Yonex racket. But it felt really good with my serves. I could hit a lot of solid balls.
Okay, so you would say your serve was your best shot with that racket?
100%.
What is your favorite shot with the Ezone?
Probably my backhand angles.
Backhand angles, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Kim, so what did you notice was different between these two rackets?
The Ezone is more for like control and spin, which is why I like it better, and then the Vcore is more for power shots.
Okay. Okay, and lastly, did you notice any difference in the stiffness between these two rackets?
For me personally, not really.
Okay, that's good news for most people. Okay guys, check back in later for my full thoughts on the difference between the Vcore 98 and the Ezone 98. So let's start with the first category of power. Both the Vcore and Ezone feature loads of power due to the isometric head design. In the past, the Ezone has been known as the power racket and the Vcore the spin racket. But with the updated design of the 2023 Vcore 98, the Vcore feels way more powerful than the Ezone now. The power level is especially noticeable on serves and aggressive forehands. I really liked serving and hitting overheads with the Vcore. Power on volleys was also noticeable, but from the baseline, I felt the power level is too high. The new Vcore has too much power for my liking, but from a pure power level standpoint, the new 2023 Vcore is the clear winner over the Ezone. If you want assistance with power on serves, volleys, and overheads, or if you have a slower swing overall, the Vcore will give you that extra help. Next category, spin. The Vcore has historically been the spin line of Yonex. Although the Ezone has respectable amounts of spin, the Vcore with its built-in spin technology and the new head design provides more rotation on the ball. If you have a more vertical swing path, the Vcore is probably more suited for you because the spin will bring the ball down inside the court. The ridiculously high power can also be mitigated a bit if you swing upwards and not through the ball like me. The spin is more noticeable on the ground strokes. On my kick serve, the Vcore had only slightly higher levels. There wasn't a noticeable amount of difference there. If we're judging the racket solely on spin generation, the Vcore is the superior option. Next up, comfort. Both of the most recent iterations of the Vcore and Ezone have incorporated Yonex' VDM, the vibration dampening mesh technology, so in the comfort category, both the Vcore and Ezone are very soft and arm friendly. The difference in the comfort category is almost unnoticeable, but I did feel the Vcore, due to its head shape, has a slightly more generous sweet spot. Because of that, it was less likely I would hit outside the sweet spot with the Vcore, so I think the Vcore might be slightly less jarring if you don't hit perfectly in the sweet spot. But really, both rackets are good options for comfort. The next category is the one where the biggest difference and the deciding factor lies for me. So far, the Vcore has come out ahead in power, spin, and comfort, although the comfort level is pretty much the same, but the Ezone is easily the winner in the control category. Like Matt said, I think the Ezone is more meant for an all-court player who likes to use every inch of the court and utilize all the shots in their repertoire. For me, the new Vcore just doesn't have enough control when I'm trying to play aggressively from the baseline. I sent so many returns past the baseline, and the weight and balance made it difficult for me to play defense. If I ever tried to hit defensive lobs or slices, I rarely made clean contact and I would send back a shot for my opponent to put away. I didn't feel fully comfortable playing aggressive baseline rallies or running around playing defense. Even though Matt said earlier he thinks the racket is meant for baseliners, I didn't feel too comfortable on the baseline. If you have a vertical swing and impart spin, I think the Vcore is more your flavor. I actually liked it more serving and volleying. It packed plenty of punch on serves and I could easily put away volleys, but the control on ground strokes with the Ezone was a lot more noticeable. I felt more comfortable rallying from the baseline and taking aggressive cuts. I could hit left and right, deep and short with confidence. I reviewed the 2022 Ezone 98 last year, but I played with it again for this comparison video, and I was most surprised at the control I had on my serves. Although the Vcore packs more of a punch on serves, I had pinpoint control on serves with the Ezone. I could hit the corners and impart the spin I was aiming for. I would take consistency over power any day on serves, and I felt so confident with my service game. So in the control category, it's not even close. The Ezone was the clear winner, and I just felt more confident rallying from the baseline with it. If I were to play singles, the Ezone 98 would be the stick I'd choose. Last category is feel. This, along with control, is the category I weigh heavily when choosing a racket. For others, you may prioritize other areas, but if a racket is really muted and dampened, it's a bit of a deal breaker for me. But that being said, I didn't really notice any difference in feel between the new Ezone and Vcore. They both feel pretty dampened, likely due to the VDM technology in the handle. I couldn't really get a good sense for hitting drop shots. Also, feel comes into play when going for short angle ground strokes or when I want to aim my volleys into open spaces with precision or at my opponent's feet. I couldn't really employ any of my feel-oriented shots with great efficiency. Volleys were okay, that's probably the one area where I feel confident in. So although the feel isn't really anything to write home about, if you were to ask me which racket I feel more confident going for high-risk shots, I would say the Ezone because of the better control, but if it were talking strictly feel, I would say it's a tie. If you want more feel, I recommend stringing with a crisp poly. So to sum up, the Vcore comes out ahead in power, spin, and comfort, but the Ezone wins in the control category. Each category is weighted differently based on what kind of player you are, and control is generally my highest priority, so I would pull out the Ezone more often than the Vcore. I do believe the Vcore is a superior serve and volley racket because of the easy power and spin, so if you play that style, the Vcore might be more suited for you. Or if your baseline game is more of a north-south style and you swing upward, the spin will bring the ball down inside the court. But if you're a flatter hitter or aggressive baseliner or you hit through the ball, the Ezone's control might be more necessary for your game. So Yonex is getting more and more popular, and both the Vcore and the Ezone are good rackets, but the winner for my playstyle is definitely the 2022 Ezone 98 because of its noticeably better control and precision. I just feel way more confident and connected with the Ezone, and even my serve and volley game doesn't suffer too much. I personally like a racket that will help me with my ground stroke game, as that is the area where I'm less confident. I don't really need much help at net. But if you're looking for more easy power and spin, go with the Vcore. If you need more control, go with the Ezone. I hope these comparison videos are useful to you, and I'm looking forward to the new update to the Vcore Pro, as that is my favorite line in the Yonex brand. Hopefully we'll see that update very soon. But until then, check out the Vcore or Ezone 98s, as they are both great rackets, and I'm sure 90% of players out there will be satisfied with one or the other. Thank you for watching this versus review of the Yonex Vcore 98 and Ezone 98 right here on OpenCourt. If you guys like this content, be sure to overhead smash that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you on an OpenCourt.